Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, The Simple Happy Life. I'm Sabrina, and honestly, I'm welcoming myself back too. It's been a while since I've shared again due to health reasons, and this time I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to keep doing this because when I don't feel good, I don't feel like picking up a camera, I don't feel like picking up my phone, and so I just didn't share because I was dealing with that. Recently, I've started feeling better and sharing back over on Instagram a bit, and I shared that the plans that I shared with you here back in the spring for what we would be doing this fall is not the same. So for the most part, things have had to change, and I wanted to give that update in this video today. So to be real, two things before we get started. One, I have tried to record this video and I don't often script out things. I just talk, and I can't do that right now. My brain, I'm having some serious brain fog, not happening. And so I've wrote down my thoughts. And so you'll see me looking over at my laptop just to kind of keep me on track and from losing what I'm trying to say, because I've been struggling with that lately. The second thing is, before I jump into sharing what it is that we're actually doing right now in our homeschool, I kind of have to rewind to the summer briefly just to share the kind of background on why we are where we are now. So over the summer, I had a big flare up with fibromyalgia, thyroid issues, and probably something else. Working with the doctors right now to get to the bottom of it. But because I'm feeling so much better, I honestly don't want them to touch me, to be real. But I was in bed a lot. It was hard to function. I wasn't driving. And so I'm so grateful for our friends and family who were encouraging to us and who helped us out a lot with the kids. Shout out to my sister-in-law, Jasmine. With her 1-year-old in tow, she came over in the mornings to pick up Cam, drive him 40 minutes to camp, pick him up and bring him back when we couldn't do that because my husband working and me being in the bed and unable to drive. So I'm just so grateful for her. We compensated her for her gas and her time, but she was willing to do it for free. We never want to take advantage of anyone, but I'm so grateful for her heart. I'm so grateful for the other friends and family that helped us out during that time too, because we needed it. And so as it gets closer to the beginning of the school year, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? Because I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm still having a ton of dizziness, fatigue, and pain, and unable to think thoroughly through the things and planning that I normally would. If you're new here, we have been homeschooling since my now 8th grader was in 1st grade. And so every year has looked different. All seasons look different, but this one just looks a little bit more different than we are used to. And so I wanted to share that with you. It's okay if plans have to change. And I've had to tell myself that. And God already knew what this was going to be, because honestly, the resources that I came across, I don't even remember how I came across them, but I did. And things worked out quickly. I mean, within like a matter of a week, some of these things, getting things into place that we needed to. So let me jump into sharing with you what the boys are doing together. So we're still doing the not consumed devotionals. We used to do them in our daily digs, which is like our morning basket where we did our quiet time or Devo, meditation, and mindfulness. But the mornings look different. It's too much. It's too much. So we've been trying to do them at night with my husband, and that's been fun. But we're not as consistent with those as I would like to be. And we already had in place for the boys to be able to do their own devotionals on mornings where we couldn't do that because we already knew some mornings were going to be full. But they have just kind of taken that on in the morning themselves to do their own devos. And then again, we do the not consumed at night. As read alouds, we are used to cuddling on the couch by the fireplace or sitting outside or reading at lunch. That's not what's happening right now. So that has shifted to audiobooks in the car, which has been fun. We choose a book together. Cameron will sometimes like to get the hard copy of the book and read along, and that's cool. The last one we did was where he read along with it was Amari and I think it was The Despicable Wonders. It's the 3rd book in the series. We pre-ordered it. It was a big deal for us. And so we had a good time doing that. I thought we were going to sit on the couch and read it, but again, it shifted to an audiobook in the car and he read along with it. The guys are also doing Spanish together, and this will be their second year of using online Spanish for kids with Senora Florencia. They meet with her twice a week, and I really like her for them. She is a no-nonsense, get in here, log on, but she's still so fun. They have a good time with her, they laugh, and they're progressing. She's patient when they have questions. It's just been a good fit for our family. And so I think I just mentioned this, they meet twice a week with her, and that's been good for us, and I'm happy with that. Now, if you are looking for a Spanish tutor or a way for your kids to learn Spanish, especially if you are not a native speaker, I will make sure to link their information below. For nature study and community service, the boys have been a part of a 4-H garden club. They're heading into their second year of doing this. It meets every other Friday, and I am so appreciative of the moms who set this group up and who put so much thought into the activities and programs that the kids partake in. They not only teach them about growing food, but about nutrition, about food deserts, about farming and Black communities. And I'm really appreciative of their heart and their passion for this. This semester already, they volunteered at a food bank. They volunteered on a few farms to help with those properties. And I think it's so good for my guys. I don't even think they understand all they're getting from it yet, but seeds are being planted. So I again, appreciate those moms running that group. As far as the bigger 4-H group or program, the boys were able to take part in the district speech competition, which was our district was held at A&T University in Greensboro. And in their categories, Aiden came in first and Cameron placed second, which then took them to state, which was held in Raleigh. And Aiden came in second and Cameron came in third. They got a bronze medal for their category. So I'm really proud of them. I saw their public speaking skills grow, their confidence grow in that, and writing a speech and sharing things that they're passionate about. So that was really good for them. Aiden was also able to go to a 4-H leadership congress camp. I think I'm saying that right, but it was at NC State this summer. He stayed for a week. He lived in the dorms. He actually stayed in the dorm I lived in my sophomore year at NC State. That's where me and his dad met. We attended that university, and that was kind of a sweet moment for us. But he had a great time there, and he wants to go back again next year to do that. And I just look forward to exploring more that 4-H has to offer the boys as they get older. So definitely check that out. See what they have going on in your area. So another activity that the boys are doing together is basketball. My husband is actually the assistant coach on the team they're on right now. And this is the first time they've ever played in a league. And it's been a lot of growth, seen a lot of skills develop. And their first game, they got drug. They were like, I think we don't need to do this. But they came back. They made it to the championship game, their team, and they came in second. But you would have thought in the car, like, oh my God, we got first place. Because we did. To make it to the championship game, especially after that first game, and this being their first season, it was definitely a win. So they're enjoying that, and we're continuing to support them in that. We also still have our field trip Fridays on days where we don't have 4-H or that Cameron doesn't have an event with the program that he's taking part in. And I'll share a little bit more of that in a few. But so far this semester, we've been able to go to the planetarium, to a water plant, and to the pumpkin patch. I feel like there was one other thing that we were able to do, but it's been good. We've had a lot of fun with field trips so far this semester, and that has remained constant. We love a good field trip. So let's talk about 8th grade for Aiden, my oldest. Y'all, he's going to be in high school next year. So all the feels are here as we progress to this level. I don't know if we thought we'd be homeschooling this long when we first started, but here we are. And he has requested to continue homeschooling in high school. So we're going to make that work. But for right now, in 8th grade for English, he is taking an English and American history course through a local homeschool learning center. He goes once a week for 3 hours. He actually goes for 4 because he stays for lunch, and then they play basketball and Foursquare and things like that. But for 3 hours, he's focused on English and history. And I like that he gets to have book discussions with about 12 of his peers. They review each other's writings, and then he's assigned work, reading, answering questions, essays to do throughout the week and submit the following class. So this has been good for him. He's wanted more independence with his work. I think he's ready for it. So that's great. So at home for English, we're also doing easy grammar and spelling UC. He's finishing up the level he started at the end of last year. I like to continue using that because of the dictation portion mainly. I just don't want to lose that in our homeschool right now. He also is doing all about spelling. Well, will be. We started it and then we had to stop because it was too much. And we'll pick that up after things slow down after the Thanksgiving break. But I wanted to go back to it because of the foundation I feel like it gives in spelling. We did it when they were little. We got up to about level 4, but I stopped, I switched. I don't quite remember why. Maybe I shared that in previous videos and I can go back and look at that, or my planner notes, but we switched to something else. But I want to go back to it because I feel like those were good foundational rules. They build on each other. They'll move through it quickly. The words are simple to spell in those levels, and they already are familiar with it. So that shouldn't be a difficult process. But again, I just want to reinforce those things as we build up to those higher levels of the program. They got it from their mama. I can't spell. And so I hope that this will help them. So for history, I guess you could say we're supplementing the history class that he's taking at the Learning Center with shifting perspectives from Black Classical Academy. Now, this curriculum encourages students to focus on history from multiple viewpoints, especially that of the Black perspective and contributions throughout history across historical periods. And so that's been fun for us. We really enjoy doing that. We keep it simple. We read through a lesson in the car on one day of week while Cameron is in another class. And that's been a good way for us to be able to make sure we get that in with our busy schedule. And then he, on his own, will choose 2 or 3 assignments to do from the student workbook throughout the week. He usually chooses the vocabulary and some links to watch documentaries and things that are recommended, some map work. And that's been good. We've had a lot of good conversations with that. So I would encourage you to check that out if you are looking for something like that. With history, I'm also pulling from Oak Meadow Civics for 8th grade this year. This is not something that we are doing consistently. I'm just letting him look through and see if there's anything related to what he's either learning in class or that we are talking about in our other history program, or that he's just interested in, period. And then we'll do the reading and he can choose an assignment or 2 that he'd like to do from it. And so again, that's not something we're doing consistently. It's just, I really like Oak Meadow as a resource. I feel like it gets him thinking and he enjoys it, and it just promotes really good conversation in our household, really. So that is another thing we are using to kind of supplement history, as well as graphic novels and quick reads. He reads quickly, he enjoys reading, and I feel like bringing in these different graphic novels of different viewpoints in history adds to the richness of his learning. So these are always fun reads for him. Not always, maybe fun isn't the right word, but interesting, engaging reads for him. Aiden is also taking a physical science class through this learning center. He goes on another day for another 3-hour block, just focus on physical science. Now this year, last year was his first year doing that, and I think it was biology. This year has been a lot more rigorous, a lot more workload, and he's enjoying it. He enjoys the challenge of it. He loves his teacher. He had her last year, so I was happy that he was able to get her again. And they're using Apologia, which we've never used in our homeschool, but so far, so good. So he's liking that class too. So for math, he's using Saxon Algebra 1/2 with Nicole, the math lady. Now, I can't say that he loves this. He doesn't. But it works for us. It works for him to keep him on pace. He can submit his answers online. We do even on the even days, odd problems on the odd days. And it helps keep me accountable too, so that I can easily inspect what I'm expecting of him, right? And if he gets below a 90, it's like, okay, let's go and let's look and see what we need to do here to make sure you understand before moving on. So far, again, so good with that. We're only doing that 4 days a week because he's also doing tutoring in algebra and engineering theory. That is through a local coding center that he goes to, and that's been really good for him. Initially, I felt like I should be able to do this for him, but I can't challenge him like his tutor does. His tutor also is his coding teacher and his robotics coach, and he has been so encouraging to Aiden. And I have seen Aiden soar in his math confidence and his little engineering mind. So I'm grateful for that resource. And I don't know, I had to let go of the guilt that I couldn't do that, the expectation of myself, the unreasonable expectation of myself to have that knowledge. And just knowing that, as homeschool parents, even if we can't be the resource, our job is to help find our kids that resource. And so I'm grateful to have come across that and for him pouring into Aiden the way that he has. Now, like I said, Aiden is attending this coding center, and he's taking a coding class through this center. And I have to look at my notes here because he told me that in coding right now, he's currently developing a haptic glove. He's interested in prosthetics, and this is kind of a step in that direction. So he's using CAD and C++, which is a coding language that I don't know, but he's learning it. And he also mentioned about his robotics team that he loves the diversity of the program, and he feels motivated by his team's collaboration and the challenges from the robotics competition. So wanted to share that piece. He is enjoying that community that he's building at the coding center. Finally, for financial literacy, we've started using finplanly.com. It's really intended for high schoolers and early college students, but Aiden is doing well with it. It has sparked so many good conversations in our house about finances, about investing. He had already started investing, but is doing even more so now. And I just think this is such a foundational skill that he needs to have. So it's always a part of our homeschool life, always. If you are interested in checking out that program, I'll link it below. I actually have a code, HAPPY25, for 25% off the paid subscription, which you can get more personalized budgeting and questions answered. But there's also a free version if you just want to check it out. So let's talk about Mr. Cameron in 6th grade. Y'all, I don't have more babies. I don't have any more elementary school students. Okay, this is... Whew, it feels so real. I mean, it felt real before, teaching them how to read and add and subtract, but it just feels, I don't know, a little different, but it's good. It's all good. And I'm grateful for the resource that we were able to come across. After much prayer and consideration, Cameron has been enrolled in a dual enrollment program with our homeschool and an online public school. Now, in order to keep his status, he has to be logged in a certain amount of hours each week. And so it's not crazy, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, he's logged in from 8:30 a.m. to 10:55. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, he's logged in from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then Friday mornings, he's logged in from 8:30 to about 9:15. On Fridays, they sometimes have programs where they meet in person, like at a farm. Recently, they went to a farm, or they might have a virtual STEM day or virtual field trips. So that's been fun in a way to build community with the kids since they're all online. So the classes Cameron are taking through this program include digital media design, and he's enjoying the projects that are assigned from the class, and he's getting to learn Photoshop. He's into photography and filming and editing. He's editing this video for me, and I love that he was able to get that elective. So that is one thing that he is taking through the program. He's also doing math. And I think it's so cute that his teachers, Mrs. Ramirez, they're married, his teacher and TA. But there's about 8 students in the class, and they just get the attention that they need. So this has been really good for us because we have been used to doing math one-on-one. I introduce something, he goes off and works on it, we look over it together. And so he hasn't done it completely independently, but he still doesn't have to do that with this program. Again, they teach it, he goes off and does the work, and then they work through it together. So it's still kind of the same setup, except there's more students, and but not too many. So that's worked really well for him. He also likes social studies that he's taking through there. Fortunately, it lines up with what I was thinking we would do this year, which is ancient history. So he's studying ancient history with his social studies class in this program. And for English, he is just enjoying the discussion of stories and things with a few other students. He really enjoys his teacher. She actually lives in the mountains of North Carolina and was disconnected for a while during the storm, and the kids were all worried, but she's back, and they're back on track with her. But he's enjoying English there. I don't have any issues with the class, but my thought is that they would have read some novels by now. They are taking portions of a story or reading short stories and answering questions in paragraph form, which is great. I also had planned, did with his brother, did with him in 4th grade and 5th grade. We read through novels, we do novel studies, we write essays. And maybe that's just not the expectation in 6th grade in public school or any school. I don't know. But that is what I thought we would be doing because we have been using Oak Meadow. And that is built into the curriculum. So what we're doing for that, because I still feel like that needs to be happening for him, I don't want him to lose what we've built on, is that we're going to be reading novels from Oak Meadow that line up with the ancient history that he is focused on in social studies through the program. So they're moving into the Roman Empire. So we're going to be reading and writing about that. So along with the novel studies that we're doing through Oak Meadow, we are using Not Consume's reading journals for fiction and nonfiction books like financial literacy. That's going to be the focus of our nonfiction books this year. And so that's how we're getting in that financial literacy with him, along with the Green Light app. So I'll post those in the description below if you're interested in checking out those resources too. So in our homeschool, in addition to what we're doing with English, he's also doing spelling UC with the ancient history focus and making sure we're getting in that dictation. We're also doing all about spelling. Well, we'll pick that back up after Thanksgiving break, like I mentioned about his brother. He's also doing a critical thinking workbook, just 1 page a day, short and sweet, but just to keep those gears going. And then he's also taking an OutSchool course that he chose. The boy likes history and art, and this class combines them both that he chose. Basically, the teacher shares real images, but he also draws stick figures to illustrate the lessons, and he enjoys that. I think they're focused on the causes of war, and interesting to Cameron. So that's what he chose. And we've had really good classes with OutSchool. I think there's been one where they just felt like it was kind of unorganized and it wasn't great for us, but all the other classes we've taken through OutSchool have been on point. And so if you are looking for that, OutSchool offers all kind of classes. Any class you can think of, they probably have it up there. I mean, anything like how to lay floors. Like, I don't know. It's random. But they have full courses. So if you aren't, wanting to teach math or history or language arts, not wanting to, but if you can't and you need that assistance, they have those programs up there too. Book clubs, writing classes. We've taken a lot. So if you're interested, I do have a code. I'll link it in the description below, and you can browse and search and use that if you're interested. For science, I really wanted this to be in person, and we had already signed up for him a science class at the same learning center that his brother goes to. He went there last year. For 5th grade, he basically had a Miss Frizzle for a science teacher. He loved the investigations that they did, and he's always liked hands-on lab projects and lab experiments. Science is not his favorite subject, but he does enjoy learning it. So I'm glad he got another teacher this year that's passionate about what she does. And this year he's had to step it up. And he was actually kind of looking forward to that because last year they didn't have homework or quizzes or tests. This year they do. They have more lab work, and it's just, they want them to go deeper in their understanding and being able to share that back, right? What the knowledge that they've gained and what they've learned. So my role for him this year has been more to help him get the things that he needs together for projects and to help him study and learn how to study. So my role has definitely shifted in what I need to do with the guys and facilitating their education this year. Now he's at the Learning Center 1 day a week for 3 hours for this class. The other thing on Cameron's plate this semester is swim team. Now that's twice a week, and then practice is twice a week, and then they have meets on the weekends. The weekends right now are full between basketball and swim and birthday parties and church and family gatherings. Like, it can be full. So I think I mentioned over on Instagram recently that I make sure to have at least one day a week where we're home, pretty much any semester, just one day a week that is protected so that we have a day of rest. And even if I'm doing things around the house, there's it's just another thing, right? To get everybody up and dressed and out the door and running around. It's a different level of energy needed to do that. And so once a week, we don't have to do that. And I need that. We really have like 1.5 days where we don't have to do that. And I have to pace myself because the semester is full. But again, we spread things out so that not one day is completely overwhelming. And I do have help because I am in and out of the doctor and doctor's appointments. And I have days where I still have some down days. So I'm grateful for my mom and my husband and their flexibility to be able to help get the boys to and fro. I think, looking at my notes real quick, I think that's it, y'all. I know it was a lot. So if you're still with me, thank you for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so and give this video a thumbs up. If you found anything I've shared encouraging or helpful or a resource that you might want to check out, give it a thumbs up. I'd much appreciate it. Share with me in the comments if anything changed for you going into the semester or mid-semester. That happens too, where you just got to switch it up. Let me know in the comments and I will chat with y'all soon. Bye.